What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man Chazz Ellis, once again answering the questions you asked me. Make sure you hit up the ChazzEllisProject.com. Be a part of some of the discussions we're having. Right now we got questions like, do you think marriage is outdated? Have you ever been in a rebound relationship? Do you think you should always leave somebody who cheats on you? A bunch of other questions. Articles on there also. I put up videos. I get involved with the discussions. Also, if you want to purchase something like consultations, if you want to get access to the email address so you can ask questions and get them answered, you can also get that on the ChazzEllisProject.com website. Also, if you want to make a donation, you can too. I want to thank everybody who makes purchases and makes donations, because without you, nobody would be able to watch these videos, because we wouldn't be able to keep doing them. So I appreciate everybody who does that. Everybody who goes to the ChazzEllisProject.com or supports Indiegogo or anything like that. Really appreciate you, because you keep everything going. Also, you got like a few more days left if you want to get access to AskChazzEllis Presents the Game Plan. If you want to get the live stream class, or you want to be able to go to the actual physical class, you can get tickets off the ChazzEllisProject.com. It's the last couple days to do it. Anyway, the question that I got was, why is it that guys lose interest after they hit it? Good question. Really good question. Because it's one of those things with guys, and a lot of people don't realize this, is that men and women are really not that different. We're not. But, and this is going to upset a few people, because most people don't really like to hear things in this particular way. Most people want to hear like, this person is all bad and it's some kind of war going on between men and women, when really we're all about the same. It just depends on what somebody feels about you in that particular time. But anyway, one of the biggest things is that we're all about the same. Only thing is, men and women, the majority of men and women, just work backwards or opposite from each other, even though it adds up to the same thing. It's kind of weird, because that's just how we work. It kind of works like this. For a man, we have what I call the hunting phase. And the hunting phase goes on until the guy has either had sex with the girl a few times and kind of got used to the idea, or just until he feels like he's conquered the situation. Like, I've had sex with you 20 times and I feel like I've done everything I possibly could do in that realm, and you really like me, or whatever the case. You know, it's the hunt. Women also have the hunting phase, but theirs usually happens after they have sex with the guy. Now, the thing about the hunting phase, because if you think about it with a woman, and guys, you can speak to this, you can attest to this too. Usually a woman is very selective and very pragmatic about who she wants to be with, all the way up until you have sex with her. Now, you have sex with a woman, that's when the emotions come in. And a lot of stuff that she would generally dump you for, now she kind of lets go. You know, the easiest time to get dumped by a woman is before you have sex. Now, that's also, now they get into what is their hunting phase after that. And usually the hunt is about making sure you care about them, love them, want to be with them, and all of that. Like, that kind of becomes to make sure that everything you were doing before wasn't fake. So that becomes that's kind of their hunting phase. And if they stay in it, they'll stay in it for a while, until they realize that you love them, care about them, want to be with them, and all of that. So it's kind of like, with guys, the hunting phase comes before they hit it. And the thing about the hunting phase is this. When you're hunting, as people know, whenever you're involved in anything, a lot of times you get a tunnel vision. It's like you can only think about that one thing, and nothing else really matters. And for women, a lot of times, like I said, when they get in their hunting phase, they just really want that guy's heart and affection and his emotions. They want him to love them. They want him to care about them. They want that bond so bad that the dude he could have all kinds of problems and issues that everybody can see except for them. And I know a lot of y'all probably have had a friend that's done it, probably been through it yourself. But where you can't see anything. You're like, everything that was wrong with this person, I couldn't see it, because I just was so focused on the love connection and getting them to make that connection with me. I was chasing, that's like you getting caught into playing games and all that kind of stuff. That's how it happens because you're in that hunting phase. Well, with guys, the same way. But when the hunting phase is over, that's when everything opens up. Here's where some people will probably get upset. But that's when everything opens up. And when it opens up, all the stuff that the guy let go before, all the stuff that he really didn't seem to care about before, now he starts to care. For instance, maybe when you met him and y'all first went out on y'all went on a date, y'all might have went to a dance club and you twerked on every dude at the club. And he didn't seem to care. He was like, yo, no, girl, you just having fun, yada, yada, yada. When the hunting phase is over and the blinders are taken off, now all of a sudden that matters. Now all of a sudden everything that you've ever done, everything that's happened, that starts to matter. It's odd. And like if you think about it as a guy, guys will tell you this is true for some of you, the women that are listening to this. Guys will tell you this is true. Before you hit it, a girl will just miss you for just about anything. Like, your shoes could be dusty. I don't want no man with no dusty shoes. But usually after you hit it, and you haven't really professed love and all that kind of stuff, that ain't happening. A lot of women will chase you to the ends of the earth, and you don't give a damn about them, and don't act like you care about them. But that's because of the fact that they're hunting now, because you haven't told them you love them. You haven't made that connection emotionally with them for them to be able to feel like they won or they completed the hunt. Until you complete it, you don't look at the other stuff. So that's what happens a lot of times with guys. They lose interest in you a lot of times because, honestly, it ain't necessarily that there's anything wrong with you. And some people get mad just because you're saying this, but honestly, they really weren't that interested in the first place. But they thought they were because they were interested in the hunt. A lot of times, it's not a guy being fake. That's why it seems so sincere. You're like, man, this dude must be the best actor on the planet. It isn't that a lot of times. What it really is the fact that he's so interested in the hunt that until he hits it and feels like he's conquered that, and usually he conquered you emotionally and all those things. Until he feels like he's done that, doesn't matter. He's not going to look at anything, really. He's not going to be like, oh, you can't cook. I want a woman that can cook. This isn't going to work. But after he feels like he's conquered those emotions and he's conquered, sexually, now he starts thinking about everything. Everything he doesn't like. Everything that may have been a turnoff to him. Everything you may have done before that you may not even thought about. It starts becoming stuff that he thinks about. He's like, you know what? This ain't the girl I want to spend the rest of my life with. So then he starts getting cold towards you and kind of switching up the game. So, I'm not going to tell you about something and not tell you what to do about it. A lot of people, this is why a lot of stuff doesn't work. You ever notice that people say, wait 90 days to have sex with somebody? You might wait 90 days. Guy sleeps with you and then flips on you. People say, wait till you get married, which was a great idea when nobody got divorced. I guess it was a somewhat great idea because you stayed married. Maybe the guy might change up on you and start treating you differently, but you still stayed married. Now we have divorce. So the things that used to work back in the day don't work so well anymore. But what you have to do is, because you know this person is in the hunting phase, okay? And if you want to wait to have sex, that's great. That works too. But because you know this person is in the hunting phase, what you have to do is you have to make sure that when they come out of that hunting phase, you've built a bond that doesn't have, that's what I tell people all the time. Like, if you're, like I said about don't hold the cookie hostage, that's why you build this bond. Because now you realize, now you understand that this person, whether you're waiting to have sex or you just had sex, whatever the case may be, this person is building a real bond with you that isn't just about the hunt and the chase. And you're making, because there's going to always be stuff about you that someone's going to find out that's going to take you up and down in terms of how they feel about you. But if you build that bond, and you make them feel like you're something special outside of the hunt, when those barriers come down and they start looking at you as a whole, you've built something with that person to say, hey, wait a minute, you're losing more than just the sex. You're losing more than just the fact that you conquered something. Because it's not just about the sex, it's about the conquering. And that's why women do the same thing men do, just in a different way, just a different direction. Have you ever noticed that, men, and this is for men too, have you ever noticed that when you get with a woman and you hit it, she starts falling, into this emotional thing and love and yada, yada, yada. But when you start professing your love to her and y'all have locked up and linked, the balance of power starts changing again. Because as soon as you're emotionally involved with a woman, that's when their hunt is over, because now they know you love them. That's why people change up when you marry them. I know people get mad that I'm saying that, but it's the truth. That's why a lot of people change up when you marry them, because the hunt is over. Now they realize you love me, just like like I love you or whatever. And the hunt is over. Now you have to stand on. Now they start looking at you in different ways. You have to stand on who you are as a person, because the hunt is ended. They realize they have you now, so now they're going to be looking at you in a different way than they would before. They're going to be sitting there thinking different things about you than they normally would, because the hunt is over. Now you got to stand on your own. You got to stand on what kind of person you are. Maybe now they do start talking about your shoes. Man, these shoes do look messed up. Now they might really start talking about how you handle different situations and things of that nature, because now they can look at you with clear eyes. So that's what we have to always realize. When the hunt ends, whether it's for a man or a woman, that's when they start looking at us with clear eyes, and everything we did before that we may have gotten away with comes back. Everything that they feel is missing from whatever their ideal person is, that starts to become a factor. And be prepared for those things. That's why during the hunting period, you want to really build a relationship during that time. Let them know that you are important and valuable to their lives during that time. Because that's when you have the best time to get into somebody's heart, is when the hunting period is going on. Because generally, so for women, like I always say, if you're sleeping with somebody, that's why when you sleep with somebody really early, that's the biggest problem, is the fact that your hunt's going to start when theirs ends, generally. Because you're going to get emotionally connected, and they're going to feel like they got you. That's where the problem usually comes into play. If you're not like that, like I said, this is most people. If you're not like that, that's why I say, you can sleep with somebody whenever you want to. If your hunt doesn't start at that time, you're like, you know what, I don't care if I slept with you. You're going to be a minority if you're like that. Guys, if you don't start hunting before you sleep with a girl, you're in the minority. But if that's you, that's great. But you got to remember, the hunt period is when you if you have the best opportunity to get with anybody and get into their heart. So just now, making it last a long time doesn't necessarily mean anything if you're not building during that time. So it's not about time. It's not about waiting 30 days, 90 days, a week, whatever the case may be. It's not about time. It's about building what you've built in that time, what you've made that person feel about you and think about you, and whether or not, and knowing what they want and what's important to them in a relationship in that period of time. What I mean by that is, figure out whether or not you're really what they're looking for in general. So when the hunt is over and they start looking at you with clear eyes, you know that you're really what they're looking for. And not just, they were blinded by whatever their goal was. So hopefully I was able to help you out. Once again, it's your man, Chazz Ellis. Make sure you go to the ChazzEllisProject.com website. Also hit me up on AskChazzEllis on Facebook. Make sure you share this video with people who need to see it. Like and subscribe. Peace.